What does food and the Proverbs 31 woman have to do together? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the Proverbs 31 approach to food and how we can be excellent as women of God when it comes to the nutrition and the health of ourselves and our family and why it matters, as well as my journey of losing 48 pounds once I started to take my health seriously. And even though I'm not at the end of my health journey, I have a lot more pounds that I want to lose. I'm excited to share with you guys my story, my journey, and I'm excited for what's to come in the future. I mean, you can even look at the proof of like my old videos. I feel like I'm a totally different person now than I was, and I'm so thankful to God. And this all comes from this idea of excellence, and I'm excited to share that with you today. This episode today is actually brought to you by one of the posts that I posted on Young Homemakers Club. You can go to young.homemakers club on Instagram and follow us there. And Young Homemakers Club is the official sponsor of the Young Homemakers Podcast. Young Homemakers Club is a membership for a woman like you who wants to learn how to be the Proverbs 31 woman in her everyday life as a modern lady. We dive into how to love your spouse so that you could have a joyful home with monthly meetups, as well as monthly virtual meetups, as well as physical meetups too. We're actually going to be meeting this weekend. It's going to be so much fun for all you ladies in the Dallas area. And we have a lot of coaching calls as well as courses from over 7 different teachers in the community. You definitely want to join. There's over already 240 plus ladies in the community. So you definitely want to be one of them while we are still in our relaunch phase, because we just relaunched Young Homemakers Club. There's a whole bunch of ladies who joined at this price. So you want to get in before it goes up, because it definitely will be going up. There's also lower tiers for you ladies who want to be a part of it, but who don't want to invest yet in the higher courses and classes. So you definitely want to join. Go down to younghomemakersclub.com and get in before the price goes up. And with that being said, let's get right into the content today. So we are going to be talking about the Proverbs 31 approach to nutrition and to health. And today, I want to talk about a couple things. So here's 4 things that I really want to touch on today. Well, really 5. Number 1 is putting effort into finding quality ingredients for your home is honorable. Number 2, managing your time well is crucial. Number 3, cooking nutritious food for your family is important. And number 4, how we can apply these principles as busy women. So let's really get into scripture right now. Let's talk about Proverbs 31:14. It says, "She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar." And from this verse, we can see that she is someone who cared about the food that she got for her family. Now, of course, this was different back in the olden times, right? Obviously, she wasn't shopping at Whole Foods and shopping at Aldi and all these different things. But it says right here that she brings her food from afar. And to me, that looks like taking time to find quality foods at the grocery store, taking time to pick out foods that are actually nutritious for our family, and being strategic so that we actually stay within the budget that you've set with your husband. We can be women who choose healthy foods for our family. And I know, especially if you live in America, that you have to really pick and choose the foods that don't have poison in them. It's sad, but it's true. And that's the type of women that we can be. And this is the first thing that I wanted to talk about on my journey of losing 48 pounds. I didn't just go on some crazy diet to lose weight. Instead, I changed my mindset to be a healthy person in general. And so I started to change little things here and there. Instead of getting vegetable oil and frying everything in a deep thing of vegetable oil, deep pool of vegetable oil, instead I started to get avocado oil and only use a little bit of oil here and there, right? Started to get foods that didn't have a million ingredients that I didn't know. I didn't get all of the processed stuff with a whole bunch of ingredients that actually poisoned me. Instead, I started to get healthier options. So that's the first thing here. The Proverbs 31 woman, she brought her food from afar. So let's be women who bring our food from afar, in a sense, and just take a little bit of extra time to go above and beyond and choose good and nutritious foods for your family when you're at the grocery store. Now, why would this matter? It's because you're changing the environment of your home when you do that. If you are a woman who usually does grocery shopping and all you bring home is Oreos for your kids and all these different types of snacks and foods, that's what your family will eat because it's there and it's available and they're just going to eat it. But instead, if you think, okay, instead of buying these cookies that have all these ingredients, I'm going to go for this option. It might still be processed, but at least I know what the ingredients are. And one place that I love to go to, I love shopping at Aldi. Ladies, I'm telling you, my budget for my husband and I is $100 a week. We shop at Aldi, and mind you, my husband is a vegetarian. It would probably be like $25 more if he did eat meat, but our budget is so low because we shop at Aldi, and I only get food that I know the ingredients of. They have organic foods there. They have like great brands there. There's a lot of other options, but I really do believe that if you try, you can get high quality foods for your family. It takes a couple extra seconds to just look at the back, look at the ingredients, and choose the right things. And so that's just us going above and beyond as women when we're out doing grocery shopping, even when we're with our spouse. Hey, you know, these chips have a couple extra ingredients that I don't really know. There's also like really high calorie. These chips look much better because they're baked or they're a different kind. That's all I'm saying. When you're out in public, choose to go above and beyond for your family and choose foods that have that have a really great ingredients in them for your family, because they will just eat what's available. And a little tip here, because I understand like at the beginning, it could be really annoying for your husband, for you guys usually being a family who eats all this processed junk with the bad ingredients in them. And then your husband is like, what are you doing? You're like starting to look at ingredients and stuff, and now you're not getting things. Over time, your husband will start to see the effects too. And at least in my scenario, my husband is now on the same wavelength as me when it comes to that, where he looks at the back of the ingredients and he really cares about this stuff. So even at the beginning, if your husband might not be on board, obviously pray about it and gently like tell him that you want to start changing things up and just try different alternatives to what you are doing. And if you go to budget stores like Aldi, you would be surprised at what you could do with the budget that you have. So that's a couple tips there. But Proverbs 31:14, she brings her food from afar. Be women who bring your food from afar. Care about the food that you bring into your household, and you can change the trajectory of your family. All right, let's talk about she provides food for her household. So in Proverbs 31:15, it says, she rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. We can be inspired by this verse as women of God, because we can be inspired to manage our time well so that we can cook nourishing and nutritious food for our family. To me, this looks like putting more effort into meals that I cook, researching recipes that are nourishing, and making sure I actually make quality food when I cook. So this can be something that we can do as well. This is an excellent thing to do. And this is something that the Proverbs 31 did. She woke up while it is yet night. So we can be excellent as ladies and wake up while it is yet night. Okay, let me say that better. We can be excellent as ladies and manage our time well, because there's some of you ladies, it doesn't make sense for you to wake up while it is yet night, but for other ladies, it does make sense. But all I'm trying to share here is that I think what this is really sharing is that she managed her time well and she prioritized making food for her family because it was that important to her. So I think for us as ladies, we can prioritize this for our family. And it's a lot better to make things at home. If you can't afford it, it's a lot cheaper to make things at home. It does take more time, but I think it can be really beneficial for you to learn them. If you go to Young Homemakers Club, join the community, we also have courses in there and classes that show some ways on how to make different things like bread, as well as a whole bunch of recipes. We post recipes weekly. But all I'm trying to share here is that it's an excellent thing to make food at home for your family. There's a lot of simple things you can start making at home, or you can buy them at the store. Like I said, just look at the ingredients and see what's best. So when it comes to bread, you will be surprised at what is in bread. You'll be so surprised at what's in bread, and it doesn't really take that long to make at home. And I actually have a video, if you go to my last couple of videos, I actually posted a 2-hour bread recipe. And I actually make sourdough bread each week for my husband and I. It is something that I love to do. I understand that it's not the best for all people. So like I said, just look at the ingredients and pick the best type of bread for you. And you'll be surprised that even though you may spend a couple more dollars because you're buying a higher quality thing, you're going to save money in other areas as well, especially if you get one ingredient items, right? One ingredient items are things that come from the earth, meat, vegetables, eggs, milk, one ingredient items are the best for you, really. And that's how we save a lot of money as well, because we don't get very many packaged items. But with that being said, yeah, I highly recommend to look at the ingredients and also provide food for your household. I'm not saying like going out there and providing by getting the money or anything, but what I'm trying to share here is to make food for your family. Or if you're not a woman who likes to make food, provide food by just getting food for your family. So whether it be like actually buying food somewhere and bringing it home, that's still an excellent thing to do because you're making sure that your family has something to eat. But always, always, always think about what your family is eating, because we can either make our family flourish or not. It says in scripture that the wise woman builds her home, but the foolish one tears it down with her own hands. And I truly believe that this also has to do with how we are influencing our family when it comes to food. Think about that. Think about obesity in our culture. Think about gluttony and how a lot of us, because we're either we barely have time and we don't want to make food, or because we're just too exhausted, we rather go get food at something quick. So it's like really greasy foods, or you rather just get things at the store that are pre-made. I understand it. It can be really hard, especially if you're a working woman. So like I said, I recommend to still choose items. If you have to get something pre-made, choose items that have good ingredients in them, or meal prep the weekend so you can have food for the week. There's a lot of different ways that you can do to actually make it a priority to have nutritious foods, but be a good influence on your home. You don't want your kids growing up and being obese, because then they're going to have to deal with that in their adult life. So it's much better when you can care about that, especially caring about the health of your husband, because you want to live long lives, right? It says in scripture to treat our bodies as temples, because that's what it is. Our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So we have to treat it well. So let's help our family treat their temple well as well, with the way that we grocery shop, with the way that we cook foods, and the way that we care about them when it comes to nutrition. All right, let's talk about a couple things that you might say in rebuttal to what I'm talking about. But food is expensive. You don't have to make everything from scratch to prove that you care for your family's nutrition, like I was talking about. However, it is a cheaper and healthier option if you make the time for it. If you don't want to cook from scratch, no worries. Of course, it's not for everyone, but I do think it's a really peaceful and enjoyable thing to do if you get into it. But it can be hard to do if you're always busy. But I think you can make time for what you care about. So if you don't want to cook from scratch, it's okay. But just like I said before, care about the ingredients that you are putting or that you are giving to your family. So if you don't want to cook from scratch, make sure that if the food that you're getting actually has good ingredients in them. Buy predominantly whole foods and things that have little or ingredients or one ingredient. That's the best thing that I can say when it comes to me being healthier. And like I said, I'll share my story in a little bit. But the best thing that I could share is to get foods that are whole foods and actually eat those. Do the best you can with the budget that you have. Shop at budget stores like Aldi for quality food, but a fraction of the price, and buy as little packaged food as possible to save money. It is so much better to buy ingredients over packages. That's how we save so much money in my home. My meals are predominantly meat, eggs, dairy, fruit, and I feel so good afterwards. But I'm busy, you might say. As we learned in Proverbs 31, we should try to manage our time the best that we can and make eating nutritious food and nourishing food a priority for us, because it is a part of being an excellent woman and taking care of our temples, right? Eating is something that we do every single day, and the way that you eat can potentially even prevent diseases in the future. It's so true, right? That's why heart disease is so prevalent. Of course, a lot of things are poisoned now with, crops and everything like that. It's sad. But we can prevent diseases by actually eating good food. So take care of your temple, right? Take care of your temple that you have. It says, I also share here that you don't have to be perfect. Just do your best with the time and energy that you have. And I say this all the time. I say this in the community as well. Do the best that you can with the time and energy that you have. Am I saying to be afraid of all of the food out there? No, I'm not. But I am sharing that you should at least care about it, and do the best with the time and energy that you do have. I also really encourage you to start to introduce good habits that make it easy to cook nourishing food for yourself and your family. So start to have the habit of shopping and getting avocado oil instead of vegetable oil, and starting to get coconut oil instead of vegetable oil, or start to actually choose things that are with only a couple ingredients instead of ingredients that have dyes in them. Or if you're going to get chips for your children, choose chips that don't have seed oils in them, or that don't have red 40 in them and all these crazy things. Instead, choose Masa Chips. Ladies, Masa Chips is one of my favorite chip brands because it is only a few ingredients: 100% grass-fed beef tallow, 100% organic corn, and sea salt. That's all these chips are. So if you want a good tortilla chip brand to bring home for your family, now is the time to try Masa Chips. Go to masachips.com, use code homemaker for 20% off when you buy these chips. I'm telling you, they are so much better than the healthier alternatives at the store, and they taste delicious. All there are is 100% grass-fed beef tallow, sea salt, and organic corn. Non-GMO as well. I mean, what better can you get with that? They're the chips that I have. I love them with nachos, guacamole. I mean, literally anything. You definitely want to go and try them today. And they also have flavors as well, and they're all organic. So you definitely want to go and try them today. Go to masachips.com and use code homemaker for 20% off your first order. With that being said, let's also talk about my journey. And I'm so excited about this. Maybe I'll put a photo right here. I'm not sure if I will or not, because I'm kind of embarrassed. You can just look back at my old photos to see how I used to look like. But I changed the trajectory of my family, and I'm so thankful to God for this. And I want to really get into this because it was a mindset shift. Because I was someone who used to diet so much. I used to do all these different types of diets to try to lose weight, and nothing would ever stick. Or if it did stick, I would go back to eating my old ways, and then I gained a whole bunch of weight right afterwards. But I told myself that I wanted to learn how to lose weight, but also keep it off and feel healthy, feel nourished after I ate food. And so a couple years ago, I was actually a vegan for a year. I was a vegan. And the first month of me being a vegan, I lost 25 pounds. I thought I was doing amazing. I did look great because I lost a whole bunch of weight and I was feeling good. And then I started to because it was such a restrictive diet, I started to really crave the things that I wasn't eating before, which was like meat and dairy and everything. So with that being said, after a while, I ended up going back to eating meat and dairy. And then because I didn't really have it, I was thinking in my head, like, oh, I'm never going to get this again. I need to eat. So I ended up eating so much that I gained a whole bunch of weight. And I ended up just kind of losing myself, honestly. And it got really, really bad. I also didn't know much about nutrition anyways. So I ate a lot of vegetable oil. I would fry everything in vegetable oil, as well as barely eat any fruits and vegetables. I ate a lot of bread because I also at that point started to live on my own. And one thing that I remember telling myself when I was younger was, one day when I have my own house, I'm gonna get as much cheese as I want and I'm gonna eat as much as I want. And I did that. Okay. I really did that. And I'm really embarrassed about myself because I didn't notice it at the beginning. For some reason, when I was in that moment, and when I had gained all that weight, I didn't notice that it was that bad until I look back at photos. I'm like, dang, it was bad. And so I made a shift. I made a shift in my life, and I started to tell myself, okay, I want to be an all-around healthy person. I just want to be a healthy person. I want to be a person that eats well, and I want to be able to keep it off, like how I said. So what I started to do was I started to change everything about my house. I started to, little by little, start to get rid of things and change them out with other things. If I wanted a snack and I wanted to eat something sweet, instead of getting a big tub of ice cream and eating that all very quickly, I started to get more fruit. Or if I did want ice cream, I would eat a little bit and I wouldn't overindulge myself. So I started to just do a little bit of everything, but all of the ingredients being good. So now my diet really consists of a lot of meat. I still do dairy. I still do fruit. I do a lot of fruit. I love fruit as a lot of what I eat, as well as, milk. And really, I basically eat whatever I want to, but I do it in small increments. And over time, over the span of a year, I was able to lose 48 pounds. Well, it was more like a year and a month. So now I'm still losing weight, but that's what I did. I basically little by little started to take things out, as well as exercising. So I started to lift weights as well as exercise, but I'm still a really busy person. So my exercise most of the time right now is going on walks. I'm still lifting weights a couple times a week, but I need to do better on that end. But because I like to go on walks to clear my head, so sometimes I just have time for that. But that's a lot of what I do. And that's how I was able to lose 48 pounds. I started to think, I want to be excellent when it comes to this. Now all my friends know I have a way that I like to do things. I like to get pasture raised eggs. I like to get 100% grass fed meat. I like to get as much as I can organic, all these different things. And my husband and I budget it in. So we go to Aldi, we go to Whole Foods a little bit to get a couple things, but we mostly shop at Aldi, and it's been really beautiful. So my encouragement to you ladies who are trying to lose weight, who are trying to be healthy, is to start little by little, and don't do it all at once, because it can be hard to keep something up if you just go cold turkey. But try to little by little start to change out the ingredients of what you have, start to make things from scratch. I learned that pickles had dye at the store and things that cause cancer, which is crazy. So I started to learn how to make it at home. It literally takes 2 seconds. It takes 15 minutes to make refrigerated pickles, which is amazing. But yeah, ladies, so that's what I've learned. And it has been a blessing, and now I'm still on my journey, so I'm excited to share with you guys that as I go along. But that's what I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about how we can be excellent as women, and my encouragement for you today is to start caring about the health and nutrition of your family, because it could literally impact generations. If you are a woman who cares about her health, then your husband will start caring about his health. And then when it comes to your husband, then he's going to start teaching your children to take care of their health. And what will your children do? They'll learn to tell their children to take care of their health, right? It says, raise up a child in the way he should go. When he's older, he won't depart from it. So teach those things to your children. Be excellent, because you could actually change generations in the way that you show up in your household as a homemaker. I truly believe that we are changing and we are impacting generations to come in our own homes. That's how important this is. So I encourage you today to take care of your family, take care of your body, take care of yourself, and have a great rest of your week, ladies. And I'll see you next time. Bye.